So this is measurement error and research design. Whatever I do, I want to point out what has come before. Measurement is a very old field, and I'll tell you a little bit about my journey, but I think of names like Nunnally and others, and people who have done so much. And I think of my dissertation advisor, Terry Childers, who taught me the first measurement seminar. It was a wonderful class at the University of Minnesota. So what has come before is so important to acknowledge. I'll talk to you very briefly about my journey. Very briefly, these are two covers of my bestsellers. They are bestsellers within my family. And so, I buy large volumes, and then I autograph, and my wife and son basically, take the copies. And so that's how it became a bestseller, just so you know. But on a more serious note, I feel very privileged that I have been able to do work that's both left brain and right brain. And this whole journey of measurement error started certainly with the measurement seminar I took at Minnesota, which got me very interested. And I started developing measures like preference for numerical information and so on. And along the way, my dissertation was on how consumers use numbers and words. And as I was approaching the mid-90s or a little later, I also started looking at people and humanity who are not educated in the way I am in how they use numbers and words. So I started looking at low literacy and low income and low literacy, low numeracy, and so on. For me, this journey started off when when I started teaching PhDs. I believe it was in 1992. There are certain things I've done where the moment you start doing it, it's almost like you were put there to do that. The measurement seminar for PhDs was one example. And so I taught it for almost 30 years at Illinois. But the moment I started teaching it, I designed an exercise where I really wanted to go to the intuitive level, not just say, here's the formula and here's coefficient alpha and so on, but to get to the bottom of it and say, what does this thing, what's the pattern of responses that leads to this? What kinds of items or questions lead to a pattern of response? What causes that pattern of response? What does it mean for developing measures? What does it mean for trying to find some psychometric properties, as you will see, and so on? That journey became a journey towards writing a book in the late 90s, and it took me a few years to do this, and this book came out in 2005. And I would say the highest compliment I've got is when somebody in my course or somebody who's read the book said, I really got the confidence to do research from this. What I say about this book is obviously self-serving, but I would say it is as minute a journey into the intuitive side of measurement error. And, I was just looking at it yesterday and thought, how crazy must I have been to do this? So I have been teaching this seminar until even a year or two ago. And most recently, I retired from the University of Illinois, and I'm now a professor at Loyola Marymount University. And so the last time I taught the PhD seminar was in fall of 2018. And certainly the idea of sharing this knowledge is very much there. And I'm very grateful to all of you who joined. And we will certainly get into the nitty-gritty of this. So this journey was captured in the book. And there's the one nice thing about writing a book. You can basically say, if you've forgotten something, just go read the book, right? So, that's certainly one advantage of writing a book. But the idea is, what is measurement? Basics of measurement, but again, at an intuitive level. When I use data here, it will be to make the intuitive point. This is not a data analysis workshop, all right? And you know that. I shared the full history of this, or a lot of it. Then what's the meaning of measurement error? What are the types of measurement error? What are some common sources? What causes measurement error? What are the effects of each type of error? And this gets really into the nitty-gritty. And when I was reading this is when I decided, how crazy am I to be going into this in this level of minuteness? And how can error be identified and connected and so on? And then how can it be corrected? But then I also move on to how measures differ. There are different types of measures. I don't know if we'll get that far, but certainly we could do it in subsequent seminars. What are some examples of measures of, and measurement across the disciplines, across the social sciences? The notion that whatever we do has to be a strongly agree, disagree scale restricts us. So if you are interested in using data in any form, I believe that what we cover will be of use to you, okay? And then the book goes on into different research design and how measurement error gets reflected in experimental design and survey design. And I even have a chapter on qualitative design, which I've done a lot of as well. So let's go to what is measurement, all right? And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to ask you for 1 or 2 words that describe measurement.